5 years on the lion diet. Can you believe that? 5 years of only eating beef, lamb, bison, salt and water with the occasional vodka/bourbon. I'll get into that later. As many of you guys know, I came across this diet out of desperation when I had come off of psychiatric medications trying to get my depression under control and my juvenile idiopathic arthritis that left me with a hip and ankle replacement at 17 under control because the medical system was not doing it for me. So I stopped taking all my medication after I went on the paleo diet when I was 23. Very restrictive paleo diet. No nuts, dairy, eggs, very limited fruit, mostly meat and greens. That got rid of all my symptoms until I came off of psychiatric medications way too quickly. I cold turkey stopped taking antidepressants after being medicated from the age of 12 to 23. That was horrific. I didn't even know I was an antidepressant withdrawal for a number of years until my dad experienced the same thing. And that's what led me to the lion diet. And I've been on the lion diet since December 2017 to keep my autoimmune disorder under control, in remission. I do not take any medication and I have no arthritic symptoms, and to keep my psychiatric conditions in remission, because I was extremely depressed. I had OCD symptoms, was diagnosed with bipolar, and I was on a lot of different medications, and I was absolutely miserable. And I'm medication free, I'm no longer an antidepressant withdrawal, and I attribute almost all of my success to the lion diet. While they're doing all beef, all lamb, all bison, which can elicit some strange stares and remarks, give it a shot. No use living depressed. There's nothing worse than that, you know? I know when you're depressed, you think, oh, how could I go on a diet? The only pleasure I have is from food. Just do the diet. Don't live depressed, especially if you've lived depressed for like a decade or that's been your life forever. That's so sad. Part of the reason I talk about this stupid diet is because it's completely saved my life. It saved my dad's life. It saved my mom's life. My mom had really bad arthritis and a whole bunch of other issues. She thinks she would be dead without the diet. She almost died anyway. My dad would be dead 100% without the diet. He needed it for psych med withdrawal and autoimmunity. And it's just, there's nothing as bad as mental health problems. And I think a lot of them are exacerbated by the psych meds that people are taking. They're so dangerous and people don't understand withdrawal or how dangerous they are. I've seen this diet help tons of people. And so if you're thinking about doing it and you're depressed, do it for 6 weeks. It's not that long. Do it for 6 weeks and then decide if you want to keep doing it at the 6-week part. It's not that long. Okay, it's a lot less long than spending the rest of your life depressed. Whenever I went out to eat, I was taking antidepressants, and this can be a side effect of antidepressants, but I was always starving and ravenous in kind of a hangry way. I'd eat and I'd still be hungry. It wasn't that much fun. I didn't eat, I wasn't one of those people that was like, I'll have a bite of that cake and then I'll be done. I'd have a bite of that cake and I'd want to eat the whole cake. Or I'd have a bowl of pasta and I'd be so full from eating this pasta. I had celiac disease too, so that didn't help. But I'd be so full from eating this pasta and so hungry. I'd be on like the verge of tears. Eating out was my thing. Like I ate out constantly. Sushi was my favorite food. I'm so allergic to soy, so I find that kind of funny because I put soy on everything. I was a foodie. I hate that term, but I was a foodie. And so do I miss it? I missed it, terribly missed it for the first couple of years when I was coming off of medications and still very sensitive and having month-long reactions and ridiculed by my friends. But it wasn't worth the autoimmune disorder or the mood disorder. So I didn't really have a choice because being sick sucks. And the all beef diet just sounded so bad. So I guess people might say the lion diet is cringy, but I know that you need a certain amount of strength in order to combat chronic disease. And you need that same kind of drive to do it without the medical system, with diet, because that is so cutting edge and so new that people won't believe you and you need to be strong. And I thought the lion diet kind of embodied that. I think I had leaky gut. So I think my gut was damaged partially from having celiac disease and partially from eating gut damaging foods. And food was escaping into my blood, like bacteria into that food. And those antibody antigen complexes were building up in my tissues and giving me arthritis. I think that's what was giving me autoimmunity. And I know that it's been shown paleomedicina in Hungary, might be Medicina, paleomedicina. They've showed that putting people on an all ruminant meat diet stops gut permeability issues. It will seal your gut. So that's part of it, at least, is if you only eat ruminant meat, you can heal gut damage. So that's part of it. And then the other part of it, I think I'm actually allergic to plants. I'm allergic to environmental plants. I'm allergic to grass. I'm allergic to grass and trees and like flowers and weeds and everything outdoors. Why wouldn't I be allergic to plants as well? It's not just from removing processed foods. A lot of people look at the diet and they're like, well, if you had just removed processed foods, you'd be fine. And I did do that. I did that first because that's more obvious. I removed everything I thought I could be allergic to: nuts, eggs, dairy, all processed foods, grains, and went down to like meat and greens and fruit. I did that to begin with, and then I stopped taking antidepressants and I went off of all my medications and I got pregnant, and that stopped working, okay? So then I went to meat and lettuce. I was just eating meat and lettuce and apple cider vinegar and olive oil, not olive oil cut with soybean oil, just pure olive oil. And that was giving me an autoimmune disorder. It wasn't until I dropped the literally lettuce, apple cider vinegar, olive oil, and went to the Lion diet that my arthritis went away and my mood improved. So it's not from cutting processed foods, it's more than that.